Hey everyone, today I'm coming with this video. It's going to be a different video than what I've normally been doing. It is still kind of random because I randomly felt like recording this and doing this different thing. But I'm thinking I might start doing this more often. So I have pretty interesting dreams, or at least I think I have pretty interesting dreams, and I have dreams almost every day. Now, I don't plan to do this every day because I have dreams every day, but I at least think that I should share some of my dreams. I usually sometime recently, I started taking notes and putting my dreams into a notebook so that I could recall them later and stuff like that. But I just had an interesting dream this morning, and I decided I'd share it with you guys. So I'm going to go to that real quick, and I'll read to you my dream, I guess. Because why not? I thought it'd be interesting. Hopefully, you guys enjoy it as much as I did. So, here's the top. This is actually the 10th dream in my log. Um, but yeah, I guess I'll just read it to you from what I see. Hopefully, you guys enjoy. So, uh, uh, this is. I normally send these to other people, so I'm actually just going to straight up read it as I had typed it. So I've got, again, just reading this straight up. I've kind of wanted to do another dream session for a while because it's not like I haven't been dreaming almost every day. It's just that in most cases my dreams weren't consistent or interesting enough that I would try to recall and share them. But today I finally got one that I really want to take down because it was pretty fluffy, interesting, and it was consistent. So basically, in this dream, I was in Dota, basically playing IRL. So, as compared to simply playing the game on my computer, which notably I haven't played Dota before. I've been watching it for a long time, like seriously, but I haven't actually played it once because my friend. I have played it once because my friend really wanted me to, and I was insanely terrible at the game. I played Dazzle. I didn't even build my skills correctly. It was so bad. But what else? Forget that. That was that one time because he really wanted me to play. But other than that, I haven't played Dota. But this game, I was morphling. Uh, and I mean, I was morphling. Like, I played the body of my character as a pseudo first-person experience. I say pseudo because I actually spent most of the time in third person, actually looking at the game from above as I normally would, as if I was playing the game. But I was actually that character. So when I was thinking or doing certain actions, I returned to the first-person view of being morphling. It's pretty interesting. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't. I don't think I actually realized I was morphling. The only reason I know I was is because I was using some of Morphling's abilities, and being that I've been watching Dota for so long, I actually know all of his abilities. Uh, so that's enough explanation of the stuff that was in the dream. Let's actually tell you about it now. So I was on the Radiant team in the top lane. The point where we were was about 10 or 15 minutes into the game already. So my hero was already a little farm, but the enemy team was actually falling behind. Um, they were a bunch of scrubs, so it was pretty easy to play against them. I was laning against the Pudge for whatever reason, don't know why, and I was wrecking his face. Every once in a while, I would use Waveform, my first ability, and I would deal heavy damage to him. And I would do that like 2 or 3 times and a couple of right clicks, and he would be fluffing dead. So easy. I had it maxed out already because I was like 4 levels and 2 items ahead of him. Uh, so at this point, 10 or 15 minutes about after I was already wrecking their face and shiz, this is where the problems started coming in, uh, and it stopped being a normal game of Dota. For some reason, there were zombie creeps, or I guess I should say they were straight up zombies. Uh, since they didn't look like normal creeps, they looked like zombies. So I guess I'll just call them zombies. But yeah, they were spawning in our base. Like they were actually spawning in our base, and they were continuously doing that. Like they kept spawning no matter how many times we were killing them. They'd continue to spawn, and they were hitting all of our buildings, and we just couldn't do anything about it. And these zombies, man, these zombies wrecked face. Like seriously, they killed they while we were trying to defend our base, they were killing our heroes, and they killed them several times actually, because the zombies, because of the zombies, our base buildings were at really low health, and the zombies weren't showing any sign of stopping at all. I went back to the base and saw this huge problem of the zombies, and how low health all of our buildings were, and I realized how bad it was. I saw one of our heroes about to be killed by the zombies again, and I saved him. I killed all the zombies around him, I picked him up, and threw him into the fountain. Which isn't actually a thing you can do in Dota, but I did it anyway, because, again, playing first person uh, character, so. After I killed the zombies, more just spawned, and it was at this moment that I realized, ugh, we were in a really bad situation, but shiz got worse. And the game slash dream got really fucking interesting at this point. Their team's leader teleported into our base somehow. And I mean, this guy teleported into our base in game and in real life. Uh, in real life, my team was a bunch of friends. We were all in one room playing. Uh, we were all playing on a bunch of computers, and we were all on the same team. Uh, and we were all next to each other. The other team's leader somehow teleported into that base as well as our base in the game, although we still had our first tower up for the top and middle lane, and our second tier tower at the bottom lane. So, like, there was no way he could have gotten into our base, but somehow he did anyway. Uh, so he saw what he saw all the zombies and how low health our base's buildings were. Even though we were way ahead of them, with this opportunity, he could definitely screw us over and steal the victory from underneath us. Uh, all he would have to do is rat our barracks and then just keep going. And the rest of our buildings would just be wrecked completely, and they were already at low health because of the zombies. And since the zombies weren't stopping, the zombies were continue beating up all the buildings at our base. We were just not in a good position, and him being able to see that, ooh, our victory would have been gone in seconds. Being that he was actually in our base in real life as well, uh, he realized the situation and decided to negotiate with us. He wanted to fight one of us. Like, he wanted to actually fight us uh, to keep him quiet. If he won, then he wouldn't say shiz. But if he won, ugh, sorry. If we won, then he wouldn't say shiz. But if he won or we didn't fight him, then he would return to his team and inform all of them the golden opportunity to sweep the game. Our team discussed amongst ourselves at this point. One of our team members in the game came back to base and said that we just took their tier 3 top tower. So this is good because they have 3 towers, and then their barracks, which are the 2 buildings that spawn their minions. So we just took their tier 3 top tower, and we could take their barracks and then go straight for the ancient in one big push. Uh, sorry, I say a lot, but I have to take a second to go back to this and read it. Hearing that, we realized we could take the game really soon, but I didn't like it. I didn't like the idea of them split pushing us and using our vulnerability because of the zombies. I wanted to fight this dude, and I didn't want to lose the game. The zombies by themselves were almost about to destroy our base completely, ancient as well. And I saw the damage they did to our heroes. We weren't going to stop the zombies. Definitely not. So I spoke up. I'm fighting this dude. Everyone else disagreed with me. They were sure we could take the game with one team fight, but I didn't think so. Those zombies are wrecking us, like seriously. And they're so low level that the other team is so low level that their respawn timers would be through before we could take anything. And all they'd have to do is split push us and we're through. I didn't want to risk it, and I really wanted to fight this dude. So I got up and decided to fight him. Our team agreed to the terms, and several of his team members entered the room. The agreement was explained, and they acted as witnesses from their side. Chairs were set up in a circle. Actually, turns out, so originally they were set up in a circle, but later on they ended up becoming a square, like an actual arena for Uh, you'll have that explained later, but I'll continue to read this the way it was. Chairs were set up in a circle uh, around us for the fight, with a large enough space for the two of us in the middle. The dude was fighting. The dude I was fighting was a really big dude. He looked like he could take a lot of hits, like seriously. And I knew this was going to be a tough fight. Imagine Kingpin from Daredevil. Yeah, that's pretty much who I was fighting. But this guy wasn't as strong, at least. The fight started, and I immediately went at him, attacking his face blow after blow. I knocked him out in only seconds. He fell backwards onto the chairs, and the ref started counting. 3 seconds, and he got back up into the ring. We continued to fight. I knew this was going to be a long fight, and I doubted whether I had the endurance to finish this guy, because I was sure he had the strength to survive all these hits and keep getting up. I knocked him out again, and everyone was astonished, but in 3 seconds, he got up and into the fight. I won the first round, that was clear. Noted, we were wearing boxing gloves, and this can all be imagined basically like a boxing ring, bell and all, shiz, and there were rounds, and all that good shiz for what boxing would be, which is why it is that later on I realized I did say originally that it was a circle. Later on, it ends up actually being a square to actually look more like a boxing ring. Uh, it is still just the chair surrounding us, but it's pretty much like a boxing ring. At some point, it will actually very much so seem like a boxing ring. I won the first round, that was clear. So, this wasn't exactly a normal fight. The way we were doing the fight, however, was that each round had a different challenge. Sorry. Some were just normal fighting, and others were a specific thing you had to do uh, for to win the round or gain points or whatever. The second round, a ball flew in from a random location. Him noticing it first and it being closer to him, he punched it as it flew in, and he scored a point. He smiled at me. I realized he was waiting for that. For me to get any of the balls he was going for, I'd have to pass his body and length and reach farther than him to hit it. This was going to be bad and hard. So the objective of the round basically was to knock the balls outside of the arena. And the balls were coming in at random directions. Sorry, I wanted to give a little extra explanation because it didn't exactly seem understandable when I read it. I started moving immediately, hitting any ball that came close to me, but there were so many more that he could get to easily, or at least that he could block me out from. So I decided basically to start flowing through him to get to the ball. Didn't work the first 2 times, but the third time was the charm. The ball came in from his right and in between the two of us. He positioned his body to block the right side, facing the approaching ball. I knew I couldn't get past him, so I slid up his arm, following through his body to reach past him. My arm reached longer than his, only slightly, and I punched the ball out while the round ended. Everyone was surprised I was able to get past him. From the first from the first and this round, our scores were completely close. We were pretty close. You would receive a ball in the objective. Sorry. The next round, we were fighting again, but the balls with the balls. We would receive a ball, and the objective was to launch them at each other, generally by punching them. If the ball hit you, or you failed to hit it out or of the ring, or it hit the floor, then the other person would gain the point. Pretty easy. Let me just give a better explanation again, because I don't think I read that correctly. So basically, this round was a fight with the balls. You would get a ball, and you would try hitting it at the other person. If it hit the person, or they failed to hit it out of the ring / it hit the floor, then then you gain the point. So it was pretty easy to understand for starting it. So he started. I knew I could hit any ball that came at me. Back out easily because I had the strength to just launch each ball. He knew that as well, but he didn't just hit the ball at me. He was able to curve it and hit it so low, so I would have trouble just launching it out. Often just hitting the ball normally. Often just hitting the ball normally while like that would cause it to drive straight down into the ground instead of outwards. I had to adjust my fighting to accommodate. So basically, every time he launched the ball at me, it would curve and go really low and shit like that. So if I tried just punching at it, it hit right into the ground. So I had to adjust to start hitting it up and out rather than right at the ground. While I sent balls at him with as much power as I could, some driving through and hitting his body, and others veering slightly, allowing him to hit them out. After going on with this for a while, the round ended. All of this work he had been putting me through to hit balls in special ways for points was really tiring me out. The next round was a fight, and everyone could see that my punches weren't delivering the blows I started with, and he wasn't going down so easily. Now we were going blow for blow. My speed and strength depleted, neither of us went down. The bell rang, the bell rang, and we went to our corners. Finally, a rest from this. It was clear that he was able to survive the stress of all this. He forced me to play around him and use up all my energy doing so, but he didn't realize that this short rest was all I needed for some time to think and some water to drink, and I had it. If I was going to take him down, it had to be in his own game. I couldn't continue to use brute force. The game continued on its system. The next round, the objective to strike the balls. Having learned the first time around how to flow through him, I was able to strike more of the balls and get ahead in points. The next round, strike balls at each other. I hadn't figured a way to win this one out yet. His blows forced me to use my stamina to reach the different balls, while mine just flew at him with less and less strength each strike. The next round, a fight, and what a fight it was. He got me really good. Almost had me on the ground, and pushing him back wasn't easy. Oh crap, now that I think about it, I don't think I did that right earlier. Wait, one, two, sorry, give me a sec. Oh wait, no, never mind. Okay, so we did this fine. Sorry, I was thinking about the dream, the way I typed it out, and then I realized, nah, it's all good. We got this. uh, so let me find back where I was. Sorry. The next round of fight, and what a fight it was. He got me really good. Almost had me on the ground, and pushing him back wasn't easy. I was almost out of the game before the bell rang. This was the final rotation, and in my break, I thought I would have to strike low in the second game. I can't keep hitting it right at him. The second game being the one where we're striking the balls at each other. I don't have the energy to do that anymore. I would have to try something different. He lacks the mobility like I have. I can't curve the ball fancily, but I can choose where it strikes. If I hit it lower, he won't be able to hit it back. It's worth a try at least. First round, knocking the ball out. I was used to flowing my movements now and could easily gain the lead here. Second round came. He continued his tricks, making me work for my points, while I tried my own. When I received the ball, I struck it at his legs. He realized immediately what I was trying to do, and he showed off the agility that he had been hiding the entire time. He twisted his body to the side and spun to raise his fist from beneath the ball, striking it into the air and out of the ring. In seconds between my strike and him. Amazed, I realized that I may be screwed, but I just have to go. But I just have to keep going at it. With this, we continued the round. I tried not to lose any points, but it seemed I definitely wouldn't be scoring on him. When the bell rang, I looked at the score. It was the final fight in round 10. I was ahead. All I had to do was survive the round. Sorry. All I had to do was survive the round, and I would take the victory. We were given a short rest in the corner before the last fight. I thought to myself, all I have to do is survive. But I knew that he wasn't going to let it be that easy. He wanted to take the game, and with the stamina he kept hidden, I was sure he could. I didn't have the energy to throw punches like I used to. I knew I couldn't take him down, but I just needed to survive. We stood up and walked to the center facing each other. The bell rang and the slaughter began. He drove himself at me full force, throwing punches at me each second. I couldn't do anything but defend. He drove me into the corner and kept striking, no break in his attacks. I tried to find an opening, but he just kept coming. These hits were hurting. I couldn't hold this much longer. I tried to maneuver around a strike to push past him and get caught I tried to maneuver around to strike to push past him, and he clocked me at the side of my head. I stumbled sideways. Delirious from the hit, I rocked in place, center of the stage. He walked over and delivered one huge blow and knocked me across the room. I was on the ground. The ref started counting. 1. I was out. 2. I couldn't do anything. 3. I tried to wake. 4. I regained consciousness successfully. 5. I could barely move though. 6. I looked at our screens. 7. I saw the zombies. 8. And I saw one of their team. 9. They were riding our base. And I got fluffing pissed. 10. I jumped up, infuriated, and ran into the ring. The fight started again. There was only 1 minute left on the clock. That's all I needed to beat him and kill his teammate and send their leader packing to forfeit the game. The fight continued, and I jumped at him immediately. I delivered a flurry of blows. I struck every part of his body, delivered the heaviest blows to his head. I wanted all of him to be weak, and for him to lose focus with each blow to the head, and it was working. He couldn't move his arms, and he couldn't keep steady. So with a few more heavy blows to the head, he fell over. The ref started counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I was satisfied. My comeback had already put me 1 point ahead of him. 6. As well the fact that he was now down for longer than any other time I'd got him. 7. He tried to get up. 8. He was still trying hard, but from the blows to his arms, he was too weak to lift his entire weight. 9. He couldn't do it. He wasn't rising from this. 10. Ding, ding, ding. The bell rang. And I was victorious. But I had no time to celebrate. I yelled to my team, who had been sitting in the audience cheering me on. They're ratting our base! Immediately, they all rose from their chairs and went to the computers. We killed every zombie in the base, and that cheating teammate of theirs too. After doing so, I yelled at their leader to get out. Him and his teammates left teleported out as fast as they got in. And we immediately started pushing the top lane, killing all the creeps that were in our way, bringing a creep wave through. In between the second tower and the barracks, we got in a team fight, killed their entire team, and continued to push. We destroyed all of their barracks. By the time we had finished destroying the barracks and started attacking the towers in front of the Ancient, some of them were starting to revive. We destroyed the 2 towers and started another team fight, but they were so far behind they weren't able to fight against us. We killed all of them easily and continued to attack their Ancient. We were losing health fast at our base because of all the zombies. They had actually already destroyed all of our towers at our base, and were taking care of our barracks as well. But because of the 2 team fights we had won, we were able to destroy their Ancient. We took the game, and we were happy. Even with all that, their team leader hadn't forfeited the game, but we didn't need them to. We had still won our way. That's the story. Hope you guys enjoyed it. That was something new. Holy fluff, 23 minutes long? Wow, I just checked that recording time. That was really long, but I enjoyed it at least. It was an interesting dream when I was having it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it at least a little. I'm sorry about all of my failures to speak in the middle of that several times. Hopefully it still comes together and is understandable as it should be. I'll put the story in the description so that you can read it much easier, of course. I'll probably leave a comment of the story as well, because I'm sure some of you might want to, or no, I guess I'm not sure, but some of you might want to actually read it normally instead of listen to me try to read it myself. Hopefully in the future, if I do this more, I will be better at reading it and not suck as much. But again, hopefully you enjoyed it. That'll be all for this video. That was a pretty interesting dream. Hopefully I'll do more of these in the future. See you guys later. Appa.